Thank you kindly. I would ask Mr. Kevin Farrar if he would be so kind. Kevin is a retired Air Force veteran. Please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir.
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kevin, kindly. Now, I'm not going to use this microphone, but I'll be glad to use it if you think that my voice won't get to the back of the room. Typically it does. Do I need this, Kevin, to get into the audio recording, or can you go with my natural voice?
Yeah. Let's use the mic. It
Fair
has a
enough.
better tone.
Thank you kindly. We're going to have a really informal operation here. The whole central premise of this is hooking the people up with our candidates. And for those of you that don't know, or maybe haven't jumped to this conclusion, all of our candidates are people just like yourselves. They have families, they have children, and they're part of our communities. There's not a one of them that's a politician. There's not a one of them with a conflict of interest. They're not looking for jobs. They're not looking to get their family and their relatives jobs. They're just everyday people like yourself. Now, having said that, of the group here that we have, there are two that have held elected office. Chris, all the way up here at the beginning of the table, is a current borough official with Wilkinson Borough. Back in 1997, I served with Keystone Central School District and as elected official there for 4 years. And as a kind of an aside to all that, just so that you know it can happen, even in Keystone Central School District, for those 4 years, we had no tax increase in 4 years. Moreover, the coalition that I pretty much led, we even gave back to the people 2 significant tax cuts in those 4 years. Wow. It's just to show you that good people do good things. And that's what we brought forward here tonight. Good people to do good things. They're not looking to feather their nest. They're not part of any network. Now, having said that, we're going to turn it over to these good folks. We'll go one at a time, and they're going to give you some opening remarks about themselves. After that, then we're going to open it up to you for a question and answer period. Yeah, this is just Mike Remick, my 2 cents worth. You can do as you will. This isn't about you. This isn't about me. About you. About them. I value disagreement. I want you to ask tough questions. You can have some knowledge of your friends and neighbors and your intentions. Disagreement's okay. Emotions are okay. It shows that you care about the subject matter and you have passion for that. We want that. But we don't want name-calling, anger. None of that's any good. Disagreement, good questions, honest debate, healthy discussion, very good things. Okay, thank you very much. Turn it over to Michelle Whitney, County Commissioner candidate. Thank you kindly.
I don't know if I can follow up on that. That was really good. My name is Michelle Whitney. I am running for Clinton County Commissioner. I ran for Clinton County Commissioner in 2019, and I lost that race by 70 votes. I was a brand new candidate. Nobody knew me. I had spent the previous 12 years caregiving for my father, who had Lewy body dementia, and the public really didn't see me. And also my husband was active duty Air Force, and I was a military spouse. So we spent a lot of time, even though we own property here, we spent a lot of time in Hampton or in Tucson, Arizona, or in Germany for 4 years. So it was a great race. I had an excellent time. It gave me a fantastic opportunity to learn all about our communities and to learn all of the great faces, a lot of who I see here tonight, and thank you so much for being here. I'm running this year. Well, actually, let me back up a little bit. After I lost the race in 2019, I started up the Clinton County Watchdog Group. That was my plan B. I saw when I went to the commissioners' meetings that there was a great disconnect between our government and the people, and that the government was serving themselves, giving themselves raises and growing bigger and bigger and bigger, while the people were getting nothing in return. We kept taking property taxes or properties off the tax rolls, and it just was not working for the people. So I decided that this was my plan B, was to do the Clinton County Watchdog Group. And since then, we've also started the Patriots of Clinton County, which provides great candidates who are just people who want to work for the people. And I'm running this year for Clinton County Commissioner so that I can hopefully get on the inside and provide even more information that the public needs to know. It's your information, you pay for it, and you deserve to know what your government is doing for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Just pause here for a second. How many veterans do we have in the audience? Isn't that remarkable? Appreciate all you've done for America, you and your families, and veteran spouses and their children. Great sacrifice, and we're all very grateful. Go to our next candidate. Jackie's asked me to speak for her tonight, Jackie Anastos. Now, Jackie's running for county auditor, as perhaps you all know. Some prefacing remarks that are important to me. I hope they are to you. I trust they will be. We'll see how it goes. Well, I've been well acquainted with the Anastos family, what you with all my life, and all their lives, because they're younger than I am. I'm acquainted with them all. Better people cannot be found anywhere. Most of you are acquainted with the Anastos family. Most of you know they have the Texas Lunch and Stella's, and most of you know that they are not politicians or in private business, as we stated in our opening remarks. So, Jackie's really something. For those that don't know her personally, she's a woman of great intelligence, a strong business acumen, and she wants to serve you. That's why Jackie stepped forward. What else would she do? She wants to serve. She wants to help. A little bit about the auditor's office. For those of you that may not know, these are county-wide officers. They're row officers. Like the sheriff is a row officer, or the coroner, 3 county commissioners, other folks, the prothonotary, the register and recorder, as I said. Now you elect 3 of them. So similar to the county commissioners, excuse me, you get to vote for 2 in the primary. So in the primary, we have 3 Republican candidates and 1 Democrat candidate. You can only vote for 2, even though ultimately we're going to elect 3. So you have choices on the ballot. If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, you won't have a choice. That's just how it's fallen this year. So you're going to elect 2 Republicans. Now, when you go into the general election, which starts in November, folks, if you like, come on in, it's all right. Sit anywhere you like, get a plate. It's all right. Get comfortable, get a plate. We're informal here tonight. No gavel's going to ring. Anyhow, in the general election, while you're voting for 3 auditors, electing 3 auditors, you can still only vote for 2. And there's a funny rule for that. You can't vote for more positions in the general election than what you do in the primary. So while come January or November, you're going to elect 3 again, you can only vote for 2. And there's a silly reason for that. Some think it's silly, but there's a good reason. The idea is with county auditors and county commissioners to have them split. The idea is to have 2 of one party and 1 from another on it. And typically it works out that way. So we have a bit of a history why we do it that way. So we have two auditor candidates. We talked about Jackie. I urge you to vote for her. I think she's amazing. I'm not here to, what? Smash into or bam into any other candidates or be negative. Just to maybe highlight the ones that I think you ought to support. Now, having said that, we're going to go right into the Edons. And I'm well acquainted with Kathy Edon, her husband George, and her son Mike. And I got to give our relationship in that Kathy, George, myself, and my wife Luann, we're all grandparents. A new pink little bundle baby, Mabry, 6 months old. So I thought you ought to know that connection. I'm a family connection, one that I'm very, very proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Edon.
I didn't really know I was going to speak tonight, but let me tell you a little bit about myself. So when I walked in tonight, I met a really nice lady, and I was getting food, and she said, "Now, what qualifications do you have?" And I said, "That's a really great question." And so I told her, I've been in banking for over 30 years. My husband and I run a business. We've been in business for 38 years. Checks and balances, being in banking all my life, the transparency, everything that comes along with it. And we went into more detail, and I said, that was a great question. And I said, no one's asked me that. And she said, well, I'm a CPA. And I said, well, how did I do? And she said, I did well. So with that being said, I have had many, many years of banking. I got out of banking. I retired from banking about 5 years ago because I have grandchildren. And I was working, because I'm older, I was working every night until 6 o'clock and every Saturday. And I wanted to have more family time with our son's new little baby and my other grandchildren. And so I took a job in a mortgage company, and at the mortgage company, I'm in charge of auditing. So I audit every single file that comes out of what happens. It's kind of complex, but in mortgages, a mortgage comes out of underwriting, you close it, and then you have this file. And what do you do with it? You audit it. So I audit it, make sure that everything is in there, because the Department of Banking can come in at any time and they can check and make sure that everything is fine. So last year we were audited for the first time and we got an A+ rating. So I think that's a feather in our cap, and I'm a lifelong resident of Clinton County. We raised 3 children in Lock Haven on Main Street, chose to live. We live on top of a funeral home, chose to live there because love Lock Haven, love downtown Lock Haven. We could walk to everything. We have a little cabin in Loganton, so spend a lot of time in Loganton. My buddy at the end, he's from Loganton. And our son, he decided that that's where he wanted to raise his family, was in Loganton. So we're very connected in the community. I would appreciate your vote, and I would be honored to represent you as Clinton County Auditor. Thank you.
Nicely done. Folks, isn't it nice to come into a town hall meeting and a meet and greet such as this with candidates on your ballot who are not politicians? They're not here espousing these talking points and telling you what they think you want to hear. No, they're not telling you who they are. So they're going to do that. They're going to answer your questions honestly. So isn't that a breath of fresh air? Having said that, Heidi Wright, you're going to like these folks. You're going to like them a lot. They are, as I described them to you, honest, good folks. Telling you, your neighbors. All they want to do is serve you. So think about them hard. Heidi Wright, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Heidi Wright. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a Christian wife and mom that's dedicated to our community. I was born, raised, and still live in Beach Street. I went to Penn State, graduated in 2013 with a degree in health policy and administration. And then I was blessed to be a stay-at-home mom for 7 years. I chose to run for district judge because I care about our community. I want to ensure that it remains a great place to live. My kids are growing up here. I think we're seeing a little more in the world. There's where good is looked at as evil and evil as good, and we need accountability. I'm registered to be certified at the Judicial Center in Harrisburg in June. I spent a few days in the courtroom with Judge Maggs in March. And I'm just going to share with you my pledge. I am going to read it here. I don't want to mess it up. It's something that I put a lot of thought into when I decided to run, and it's something that I stand by. I will foster a relationship with our school district and learn the challenges and limitations between education and the judicial system. I will find common ground with our school district to keep students in the classroom and out of the courtroom. I will listen to every person that comes before me and render an unbiased decision from the bench based on the application of the law while using common sense and fairness. I will be tough on crime and impose justice with integrity, empathy, and fairness. I will work hard every day to build on the foundation established by the judges that have come before me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. When we're done here, I'm an open book. I would appreciate your vote on May 16th.
Thank you kindly, Heidi. Isn't she amazing? Folks, we'll go down the row here, but I would say when we get to the back of the row, last but not least, my good friend Chris. When he's done, then we'll take maybe a little 10-minute pause in the action. The restrooms are in the back. We'll take a little break. You can refresh yourself, take a break, and then we'll get back together then for a question and answer. And this next person is another remarkable guy. Very bright, very studied, plain-spoken, honest man, if ever there was one. And ask you to strongly consider him. Eric Jacobs, running for Township Supervisor in Woodward.
Thank you, Mike. I am, as Mike said, I am not a politician. I really didn't have anything prepared to really speak about tonight. I've run for Woodward Township in the past. I'm a lifelong resident of the township. I think that the township could use some better leadership. I've, attended meetings for many, many years. I've run in the past. I own real estate in town. But it's, speaking publicly for me stuff, I'll be honest with you. So, but I mean, I'm not looking for another job. I'm looking for, somebody who can, give a good level look at the budget and do what we can to cut. And I would really appreciate your support on May 16th.
You did fine, Eric. Oh, you did. For those of you that know me, many of you do, or know of me, probably more of you know of me, might not always like what I say or agree with what I say, and that's okay, but I give to you the truth and the facts to consider. And my friend Eric does the same thing. I've sat with him, or along with him, I guess would be better said, in several meetings. And he's a studied guy. He asks great questions. He's a man of great integrity. And again, I would strongly urge you to consider him, along with our next candidate, Mr. Ryan Gates, who's also running for Township Supervisor.
My name is Ryan Gates. I'm 33 years old, married to my wife Allison, and together we have a son, Rhett. I've lived in Porter Township for 9 years, and I'm also employed within the township. I work for Snavely's Mill in Clintondale since 2012. First found interest in local government when I was appointed to the Recreation Board, and since then I've also been appointed to the Zoning Hearing Board also. An active member of the Nittany Valley Fire Company in Lamar. I'm running for supervisor. I want the opportunity to serve the hardworking citizens of Porter Township, just to ensure that remains a great and safe place to live and raise a family. While planning for the future in the township, it's also equally important for me to remember our roots and preserve agricultural land within the township. Thank you.
Great stuff, Ryan. Thank you kindly. Next gentleman, Mark Miller. I've become pretty fond of Mark. If one guy can say that to another guy and his family and his positions on so many things, a man of great faith and a great honor. And my regard for him is very strong. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Miller.
Not used to one of these things. I'm definitely not a politician. My name is Mark Miller, and I was born right here in Clinton County about 53 years ago. And I was never into politics or anything like that. Moved out to Rote in 2018, and I decided if I was going to be out and be a member of that community, that I should get involved with things. An old fellow out there took me to a couple of the first meetings, Buck Weaver, and he was very outspoken on things. And when he passed away, I figured I had to be the next pain in the butt at the meetings to take over for him. And I've held to that. Counting tonight, this is only the second township meeting I've missed in 2.5 years, and that's to be here tonight. And I really paid attention to everything, and politics is just really crazy and a weird thing, even in a small town. But I wanted to learn, and I got to know a lot of people. And at one point they asked me if I wanted to be on the zoning hearing board. And I had no idea what that did or whatnot, but I said, sure, if you need somebody, I'll be there. So I've been serving on that zoning hearing board for about 1.5 years now. Learned an awful lot. They had asked me to take over the zoning officer's position out there, and being that I had no experience with that whatsoever, I declined that. And then it just sort of evolved with some of the situations out in Lamar Township as far as police coverage and things of that nature, that I saw a vacuum, a need for a constable that is willing and wants to do more than just the minimum, that wants to help the community in any way they see fit. And that's why I'm running for Lamar Township Constable. I feel I'm at my best when I'm helping somebody else, and that's the way I live my life at this time. I don't know what else to say, but I'd appreciate any support on the 16th that I can get. Thank you.
Well done, Mr. Miller. Again, folks, as you can see, you look in their eyes, you hear the words, you all know when folks are BSing you and when they are not. You can see with each folks, they're telling you the truth. You can see it when they look you in the eye. They're not giving you talking points, they're giving you the real stuff. And I commend each and every one of you. I'm so proud of you. The next gentleman I've made recent acquaintance with, person I've had the luxury of sitting down with and discussing, well,
his view on things here in Clinton County in general, our school district in particular, and our life in general. He's a very impressive man, and you're gonna like him a lot too. Dr. Bill Baldino, who's running for school board.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Like I said, my name is Bill Baldino. And I hope you don't have a lot of trouble with this horrible Philadelphia accent. But I've been a Clinton County resident for 17 years now. And I'm a retired thoracic and general surgeon. I have had experience with education, and I was assistant professor of surgery at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, and of course, in surgical training, you spend a lot of time teaching the guys coming behind you, people coming behind you, the medical students and the junior residents. So I have some experience in leadership. I was president of the Morris County Medical Society. And I'm just in observing and listening to what's going on throughout the country that I'm here. I've been very concerned about our schools. I'm a believer in traditional American values, a believer in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and I'm afraid we're getting away from that. And I'm hoping that I might be able to do something to nudge us back towards the right track. So now, one thing that really concerns me is the safety in our schools. My friends' kids tell me they're afraid to go to the bathroom because of the fights in the schools, and the fights in the bathrooms. And this just shouldn't be things like this. And if the people there aren't taking care of it, I think we need to get new people. So, I'm just going to say it's important. The candidate I'm running against is a Democrat who, let's just say, doesn't share my outlook on the way the country should be run. And he cross-filed, so I need to beat him to get on the ballot in November when it matters. So it's really important. So if you live in Allison Township or in Ward 2 or 3 in Lock Haven, I'd really appreciate, it's important that you get out there, and I'd appreciate it if you vote for me on the 16th. And we got 3 more school board candidates. I hope you support them too, because we need to start working on taking it over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bill. Heidi, you get a little older like me, sometimes you get a little forgetful. Oh, that isn't always the case with everybody, but it is with me. Now, having said that, did you identify your magisterial district? I cannot remember. Did we do that? Does everyone understand who can vote for Heidi and who can not? Did we do that?
It's in District 2. I'm not sure if everyone understands what District 2 is.
Would you define that, please, ma'am? If not, I can help with that.
That's okay. Yeah, so District 2 is Bald Township, Mill Hall Borough, Beach Creek Township, Beach Creek Borough, Lamar Township, Porter Township, and all of Lopington, which is Green Township, Lopington Borough, and Logan Township.
So by and large, Heidi, we can safely say this, that if we go west, you have all of Clinton County excluding western Clinton County. Is that pretty much how that goes? I would say. Very good, thank you, ma'am. For those of you that don't know, or maybe you do, probably you do, we do define our magisterial districts by region. Likewise with school board. So Dr. Bill has said that he is looking to represent the folks of Allison Township,
I believe it's 6.
and Lock Haven Wards 2 and 3, correct? In Allison Township, folks vote at the Balloon Church out on Canal Road. And the precincts in Lock Haven, Ward 2 and 3 are located at the former high school where I went to school in the cafeteria building in one ward. The other ward is the Hope Hose Company. Having said that, Mr. Cannon, you're gonna like this guy. I like him a lot. He doesn't pontificate, it's no long-winded oration that's gonna bore you to tears the way I do. He just cuts right to the chase, Gene, and gives you the straight stuff. Here he is, Tom Cannon, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if I need this. Can you guys hear me back there? I'm Tom Cannon, running for school board, Region 8, running against Frederick Schultz. You guys have read the Lock Haven Express, you kind of know what he stands for. I'm hoping that most of you do not stand for the stuff that he does. I believe in parents' rights. The school has taken them away. In 2020, when they started calling parents domestic terrorists because they wanted to speak up for their rights, stand for their children, I decided I was going to run for school board. I'm a father of 3. I have 5 grandchildren, 4 girls, 1 boy. There's a lot of corruption in that school. I'm one person. Hopefully these guys can help me. We can, if nothing else, we can expose it so it can be called out. I don't know. I don't have much prepared other than I know that what's going on at that school is wrong. Stuff needs to be changed. That meeting I attended to, the last one, where a little girl spoke up and said she was scared to go to the bathroom. That there's kids that are not going to the bathroom for 8 hours a day because they're afraid. You know, I watched the lawyer for the school district sit there and just not even flinch. The school board did not flinch at all. I made a statement about we should protect our students more than the school board is protected. I got dirty looks from the school board. I'm not afraid to speak up. I stand for anybody. I'll stand against anybody that's wrong or trying to do harm to anybody. Like I said, I'm a veteran. I got out back in the 80s. I just appreciate your vote. You want somebody to stand up, not afraid to speak up, not afraid to go against anybody. I don't care. Take whatever you want away from me. I don't care. You know, that they can attack us, whatever they want to do. Bring it on. So I'm giving my life. I'll give my fortune too. So thank you, and I appreciate the vote.
Nicely done, Tom. Tom, let's define your,
Bald Eagle Township,
yes, Flemington Borough,
Flemington Borough.
Millhall Borough?
No, Castanea.
Castanea.
Yep.
So Castanea Township, Flemington
Flemington,
Borough,
Bald Eagle Township.
and Bald Eagle Township. Yeah, thank you very much.
And I live in Bald Eagle Township.
Great. Next, folks, is Dawn. And again, really intelligent person that studies hard, that knows the issue. Just a good, honest woman, good citizen, no motivations out of this area. And again, I commend each and every one of you, and I sure commend you, Dawn. Dawn Moyer, ladies, you know.
I don't need one. Hi, I'm Dawn Moyer. I'm running for school board in Porter Township, Logan Township, Logan Borough, Green Township. So that's our area. I have proudly lived in Porter Township for 56 years. I'm a veteran, I'm a mom, I'm a corrections officer. I don't like the way the school board's going. If I won, I would fight for the students and the parents that are in the school district.
I would fight as hard for them as I did for my own son, who I didn't like the way his school district treated him. I took him out, I homeschooled him. And in 10th grade, he could pass a GED. People shouldn't have to pull their kids out of school to get an education. But I did. I would love to stand up here and say I'm the best candidate for this job. But to be honest, I'm not. I'm running against Chris. Actually, I'm trying to help him win. He is the best candidate for this job. We can't split the votes and have someone else, a Democrat, come in and win. I'm going to step back and help Chris to win this race. Thank you. I'm surprising.
My name's Chris Gaff. I've lived all my life in Sugar Valley. I'm 61 years old. Except for a couple years living here or there elsewhere in the United States, I've been a member of Sugar Valley Volunteer Fire Company for 40 plus years. I've been an EMT, a paramedic, a rescue captain, fire police captain. I've been the fire police president now for quite a few years. I'm involved with a lot of kids. I teach for the PA Game Commission. I do all of the hunters safety courses up at the Clinton County Sportsman's Club. I deal with a lot of kids through fire police with the parades and everything. They always come up and talk to me. I had an accident this June, it'll be 10 years ago, that landed me in the wheelchair. And a lot of people gave up on me, except the ones that knew that I'm a bulldozer. I'm still here. I'm going to stay here. And I'm not giving up on all these kids. I can't do it. And when I went to the school board safety meeting, I brought up a point. There's no kid that should have to go to a school board meeting and beg for safety. That's unheard of. Shouldn't happen. Heidi Wright from the newspaper, or not Heidi, Emily, sorry about that, sent out a questionnaire for us to fill out. And I answered it as much as I can be possible. I was told I'm going to get shot down for my answers, but I really don't care. I don't agree with almost a 4% tax increase when our school population is going down. We're hiring more people, and now we want to do a tax increase right before an election is absurd. That should not be happening in no way, shape, or form. Test scores aren't there. Our teachers and stuff, who I believe are great teachers, but their hands are held. When you have school board and school security that when they have to look at a kid and say, you can't do anything. Well, why have a school security? They're there for a reason. Let them do their job. I'm all about safety at these schools, the drugs and stuff, and 14-year-olds getting arrested. That's absurd. Our kids are there to learn. We've forgot about that because it's all about the dollar. The last question that this lady from the Express asked us is, and I'm going to read it, we're not sure what party you're affiliated with or whether you cross-filed for the election. Can I specify this? I'm going to say I am a registered Republican, but I did cross-file. I did it because I believe the voice needs to be for everybody. I don't care what group you belong to, whatever. I'm going to speak for all of us and all of us that have kids. I've been the EMA management coordinator for Southern Clinton County. I have Logan Township, Green Township, Loganton Borough for like 8 years now. For the school board, I have all three of them plus Porter Township. and I'm gonna fight for all of us. I don't care what township we live in. That's all I got to say.
When that's something, particularly with all of them, I'm just so proud of each and every one of you. When Dawn says G, vote for Chris. I mean,
He's the better candidate.
this is stuff we never, you're both great candidates. I'm so proud of you and love you both. This is stuff you never hear. These are just regular folks stepping forward. And I know I'm being hopelessly redundant, but it's not a little thing. When your neighbors come out, want to step forward with no motivation whatsoever, except to do their part. So they're remarkable. All right, consistent with what we talked about a bit earlier, let's take a little 10 or 15 minute break. There's restrooms here. You can refresh yourselves, do whatever you do for 10 or 15 minutes. All of you get another plate. Well, there's some things up here, lecture materials and such, you can take along with you. They're selling some coins up here for $5. They're really nice coins, by the way. So having said all that, take a little break. We'll come back and begin here in about 15 minutes. Okay, folks, here we go. Hope everyone's refreshed themselves. And once again, I would urge you to, there's a lot of food up here. Looks like we picked things up pretty good because it's really good food that Cheryl and her folks have prepared for us. And on the way out later, take a plate home with you. We urge you to do that. And there's a lot of campaign material to take it home. It's all free. There's no charge for any of this. We want to thank the Patriots of Clinton County for being our hosts here and bringing all this forward. And Clinton County Watchdog have also had something to do with that. I think our membership now is at 4,200, which is a lot of good folks here in Clinton County signed up to hear the words and wisdom. There's lots of words. Whether there's any wisdom or not, you can decide that for yourself. But that again was developed with we the people in mind. On Clinton County Watchdog, you won't find any advertisements, any pop-ups. It's not about money. It's all free. You don't have to pay for it. So you're always welcome to come in as Larry does, and others of you in this room do, and to participate in the dialogue. Having said that, now we're into the town hall kind of portion of all this. And it's to connect you, which is the reason why they're here, and I'm here, connected together. So a town hall meeting usually goes like this. I don't know that we really had a true town hall meeting or meet and greet since I've done them years ago. Yeah, we have political functions with political parties. You don't find the political parties here. We can invite them. Nor do we invite the incumbents. This is about the people. That's why we're here. So, usually, if we get one or two questions, you get it rolling. It goes pretty quick. So having said that, I'll just offer a few prefacing remarks, maybe to prompt a few questions. Rather prompted me to say this. A lot of issues in Clinton County. No more serious issues than our public schools. Now, I'm not going to give you some long-winded speech, and I'm capable of doing that. I'm going to mention some highlight points. Every year, since 1971, enrollment in our Keystone Central public schools has declined. I graduated in the class in 1970. Every year it's declined since 1971. 8,000 students in our public schools in those days. Today it's decreased by over half. We're down now to 3,600 students. Okay. Yeah. Keystone Central School District, as we speak, has 555 employees for 3,600 600 students. That's one employee for every 7 students. And we always hear from them, gee, we need more people, we need more people. That's all crap, in my opinion. Now, having said all that, for many years, Keystone Central School District, many, 20 years. Relative to academic achievement, they rank near the bottom of the state. They have year after year after year after year. Moreover, I've done studies of this, they're on Watchdog. These are all facts, giving you facts. You're not going to like them. You don't have to agree with me. It's fine if you don't. Anybody can disagree with me. They are by far, in this region, the highest salaried staff anywhere. And not only are they the highest salaried staff, we have far more Keystone Central employees than what we need. We're continuing to hire them at a rapid rate. We see them hiring assistant administrators. Just hired Tom, the assistant superintendent, another assistant business manager, an assistant athletic director. There was a time when I served on the board, we had no athletic director. When I served on the board, there were 4 high schools. Buckdale, Sugar Valley, Lockhaven, and Bend. No athletic director was needed for 4 high school athletic programs. Of course, we went then to 2 high school athletic programs. Now, all of a sudden, we need a full-time athletic director. And we need an assistant athletic director. Well, lo and behold, how did we get them? We created a position of athletic director and hired on the husband of a sitting school board. Right. And that's what they did. It's all about feathering your own nest. I know a lot of people won't speak to these issues. That's okay. Because they fear retribution. Business people won't speak to those issues because they're relying on those 550 employees to come to their businesses. I understand that. Doesn't make them bad people. Business people are there to earn a profit and take care of their families. But that's why they don't speak up. Can't hardly blame them. Can't hardly blame them. But yet they don't. And that is why we are where we are today. Hopefully, and I believe it to be so, today, in May 16th, they're going to start changing that. In my opinion, you the people, we the people, first and foremost, if we do anything at all, you need to take back the public schools out of the hands of the bureaucrats, out of the hands of unions, and put them back where they belong. Public schools are there to educate the children. This is about your children, about your students, about your families, about your communities. Public school of education, the one that you have at Keystone Central, it's about themselves. You're feathering your own nest, continuing their hiring spree. They could care less about the education of your children. A couple of these good folks said, and you've seen it on Watchdog, you see the violence in our public schools. And if it weren't for Watchdog, you wouldn't know anything about it. Nothing. Michelle Whitney and I bring that forward to you. And we bring it forward to you with data and facts that comes from within and within the Keystone Central School District. Data they give to Whitney and I, because they know we won't betray them. Data that they speak on will be retaliated against. That's the truth of it all. I'll leave it go, and I'll turn it over to you for questions and answers for these good folks here. Thank you very much.
John
Yes.
Day.
I have a question. Who can we vote for in Wayne Township? That's far northeast of Clinton.
Karen Portman. Karen Portman is running the region that includes Wayne Township, which is the same region I live in, which is Pine Creek 2, Wayne Township. It's that region. Do you remember which one it is, Michael?
Great question, thank you for posing it. Besides the candidates here, there is another position open. Thank you for posing a great question. It's Karen Foreman, another citizen who has come forward to run, could not be here tonight. She's running against a fellow by the name of Jeff Johnston.
Region 4.
Beg your pardon?
Region 4.
Correct. And Johnson currently represents Pine Creek Precinct 2. That's the one township in Clinton County of all of them that's divided into 2 precincts. The other, Pine Creek Township, goes to Jersey Shore. And also represents Dunstable Township and Wayne Township. Now Johnston, whether you like it or whether you don't, it's a fact, there's a former Keystone Central School District instructional administrator. That's what he is. That's what he was. He's hired everybody they want to get hired. He's a complete administrator, former bureaucrat, complete supporter of the hiring sprees. In your opinion, that's okay. If you agree with that, vote for Johnston. If you think Keystone Central School District is fat and needs some trimming in order to help do something to get rid of these ongoing tax explosions, I'd urge you to vote for Karen Foreman. If you like the growth and bureaucracy of Keystone Central, then vote for Johnson. Next question. All right. Go ahead, sir.
I have a question for Mr. Gates there. I heard that his opponent said that he was planning on raising taxes. I don't know that I need this.
All right. That's all right. All over. You're not comfortable.
I just wanted to know where he stood on the taxes in Porter County.
Ryan Gates, your position on taxing.
So I too have also heard the rumors, and as far as I'm concerned, that's what they are, is rumors. I think it's just a scare tactic. Because what's a quick topic to get people riled up is paying more in taxes. We've been fortunate to have our municipal tax millage not increased in some time. And I don't think now, more than ever, with seniors and families struggling, is the time to do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Mr. Danny Harder.
My name is Dan Harder. I appreciate you candidates. I think it's a tremendous thing. I ran 4 times for county commissioner. I never won, but I kept running. I also run for the House of Representatives. School district is an important issue in our life at this point. They're changing everywhere. People are starting to take back some of the ideas that we used to have. We used to read the Bible and do the Pledge of Allegiance and do all the good things it took to start out our lives. And I felt pretty good about what I heard here tonight from you candidates. I think it's great. You live in Loganton. My grandsons go to the charter school. They do terrific.
Yes, they do.
Don't let anybody tell you that they don't.
I've seen the kids come out of the charter school.
So,
There's some good kids.
Congratulations on you running. I hope that you can win some of those seats. That's a start. Also, I want to tell you that I am the facilities chairman for the Economic Partnership, who has looked at economic development in this county for as long as I can remember as a volunteer. And I have spent on my hometown of Renova 22 years of my life buying back the old railroad shops and trying to get some progress there. And I have to look at Michelle tonight, but I can't support her tonight. Not tell her right, but she has some good issues. So if you feel those issues are important to you, then you should support her. My issue is, she was against that project that we had developed up there, a power plant. People tell you it's only 35 jobs. We need 35 jobs in Renova badly. It also was a project that would have cleaned up the environment. And I just came here to hear the rest of you candidates and tell you that issue. That's an issue with me, with her. And I think that's important in a town meeting that you're able to ask that question. Why were you so adamantly against that project, and why did you not have the right information on that?
Thank you, Danny Harder, and I'll get this to Michelle in a second. What Danny just told you is the truth. Danny has served Clinton County as a volunteer for many, many years. Not in it for himself, he was never in it for himself. If you need to know anything about infrastructure, roads, industrial developments, this is your guy. But let's get back to the question. Michelle?
Regarding the power plant, I see some really great faces here from Renovo. I want you to know a few things. I want you to know a few facts about that plant. Number one, it was dangled as a carrot in front of the people of Renovo for 9 years, and the market now will not support it. 50% of the customer base of New York left because propane was made illegal there. You lost half the customer base. Another thing that really, really annoyed me about the entire deal was I read the community benefit plan. Renova got very little to nothing. They got $160,000 for a fire truck. These plants make $1 million a day. They were coming in there to help Renova. They were coming in there to help themselves. And it was very important for me to let the people know that. And now, and I'm very glad to see that this has been nipped in the bud, and I'm going to tell you why. We're in a renewables market. The PJM grid, which supplies power to New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, is closed. You're not going to put a new plant on that power grid. We can't afford to continue to dangle that carrot. It has to end. We have to move on and find something else. And I hope that you'll reconsider. I hope you'll vote for me. I hope that you and I can work together. I hope we can find something else, some sustainable business for Renovo that will really, really sustain it and be the true economic development that Renovo deserves. Thank you. It was a great question.
I thank you for that.
Thank you, Michelle.
Rebuttal. I thank her for that rebuttal. She's got it all wrong. See, that's what happens. You need to get informed. $150,000 was for our hospital at Renova. Many dollars for our first responders. We were going to get the taxes of Renova that sorely needs it. Roads that had not been paved for 50 years. I lived there in 1959. My dad was a merchant there. There were monies going to the school district, which we need. There were 35 new jobs, which we need. New people. If it isn't people that live there, at least it could be people who move in, new people who have lived in an area that you can't believe how nice it is. And it's a tourist town. And people say, well, if the power plant's there, the tourists won't come. I was president of Bucktail State Park. Do you know the Bucktail State Park is the largest park in the state of Pennsylvania? 75 miles long. Starts in Lock Haven. A lot of people don't know this. Goes through Renova, goes to Emporium. At the time, we had the paper mill and Ford, we had the dye works, we had the chair factory, we had everything here. And then in Renova, we had the railroads, Emporium, we had Sylvania, and when you went to St. Mary's, you had the carbon plants. They went through our town. We had properties there, restaurants that would serve the tourists. We have nothing now. We needed that project badly, believe me. It was a lot more money than what she's talking about. And I hope if she wins, she gets the right issues. See, that's the problem with it. We're almost like a social media people. I think it's important we get out to places like this tonight and listen to that. But good luck to all of you. Besides that, I mean, fight like heck. I lost 5 times, but I kept coming back. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Michelle, for your comments.
Thank you. I just want to let you know I have the host benefit agreement. I have read it. And it is dismal. It was never negotiated. There are negotiators out there that will work, but gas companies
Michelle,
they
you read
specifically
it all,
do
but I
that.
was in all the meetings,
They
so-
specifically, but I read the agreement, the
Thank
very
you.
agreement that was signed.
You're fine. That's good enough.
And folks, this
It's not a.
was an excellent dialogue and an excellent debate. And this is what we need. This is healthy disagreement. It really is. It gives us a much closer look at both sides. And this is what we need, not the talking points, facts. That's what we need. Let's examine something else. We've heard about all this demise and mediocrity, and the loss of our businesses and industries. And he's told you about the loss of those in Buckdale. All the railroad yards are long gone. Woolridge, long gone. Piper Mill, the paper mill. Buckdale used to have 3, maybe 4 Donnie Harker A&P stores, right? And we continue to see this decline, the loss of our business, loss of our industry. We're closing all these schools. Think all the schools you can name that we closed. Dickey, McGee, Woolridge, Castanea, Lamar Township, Salona, people call it Salona, closed to Bend High School, to Lock Haven High School. On it goes. Enrollments, half. But yet we continue all this growth within Keystone Central School District. And notwithstanding that growth, let's look at the growth of county government. At one time, county government was essentially housed in the courthouse over there contiguous along the river with ministerial offices, a few other offices. That's where they were housed. Well, so the gardens, I'm sorry fellas, I'm talking. It's hard to talk over you fellas. Donnie, well, I got the microphone on. We can't carry on 2 conversations. Thank you. Well, the garden theater was vacant. County comes along, expensively renovates it, fills it up with county employees. Cool. Expansion of county government. We need more government. So, Boss Snyder, who I served with on the Keystone Central School District, the king of nepotism and conflicts of interest, if ever there was one, Boss Snyder, dump him as quick as you can. That's my 2 cents worth. You can disagree. Well, Flemington Schoolhouse is vacant. Boss Snyder now at the county, he facilitates buying the former Flemington Schoolhouse for $1. Gee, what do you know? We fill that up with county employees. All this loss of jobs, industry, closing schools, our youth moving from here in order to find work and to get their start, which is not here, and they continue to flock away to move and get their start and find work. Did you know that 1 out of 2 working residents of Clinton County, 1 out of 2 of them, working residents, have to travel outside Clinton County to find work and to get their start, 1 out of 2. Now that's most of the private sector, excluding probably First Quality, Crota, Avery Dennison, and a few others. If you throw in all those county employees that we have, all the school district employees, and 1 out of 2 working people drive outside the county, think about that. That's a lot of mediocrity, folks. Taxes keep exploding, but back to the county government. So they fill up the Garden Theater building. They fill up to the Flemington Schoolhouse. Not done yet. Oh boy. Well, there's Boss Snyder. Now he and his little self-serving cabal buy Mr. Piper's former Blue Building, now vacant. And old timers like me, Danny, you'll know this, Nonnie, and you good folks will know this. I mean, we remember when that building was put up, Mr. Piper's Blue Building. Pretty novel at the time. Well, there it was vacant. So Schneider and the commissioners paid how much for that? Invested millions in it. And here we are now. We filled that up with county employees. All this growth of government. Your taxes keep exploding. Our youth moving away to find work. We can't sustain all this, folks. This is why this meeting tonight with these good folks, your neighbors, is so important. If you don't dump this network, this self-serving network, filled with unions and bureaucracy and incumbents, the demise and the mediocrity is going to continue. Thank you. Any more questions? No, it's pretty sad. It's your government. Any more comments from our panel? Anybody at all? And anybody can disagree with me. I won't debate you. I won't even rebut you. Anybody at all? Yes, you may, Danny. Oh, I'm sorry, Donnie.
I'm Don Harger. I'm Dan's brother. I never got involved in politics or checked any of this stuff out until I retired. When we were younger, growing up in Renovo, we cared, but we didn't care. It wasn't like it is today. Like Mike says, the schools ran excellent. You didn't have 8,000 guys getting big salaries just like they do now. It's really sad. I think what he said was really great about the bureaucracies and the unions taking over. And I want to commend these guys here running for school board. I was really impressed with what they said. I'm going to tell you what. I follow, I'm on Facebook, one of those characters, but I get to see what Mike says, and I get to see what Michelle says on their watchdog, and they say a lot, they bring up a lot of good points. And I'm gonna tell you what, if we don't wake up, and we can start by electing most of these people right here, if we don't wake up, we're done for. You look at the schools, like Mr. Balding said there, about that girl getting beat up in the school. I haven't even heard the last of that. I mean, I don't even know what they did. I don't know how they solved it. They blew it in the wind. If you went to a meeting and asked them about it, they thought they treated you like a piece of dirt. You were a nobody sitting down there in the audience. That doesn't go. And if we don't, we got to get more important people in there. But you know what's sad? I think it's 476 out of the state. That's where we're ranked here in this area.
Great line.
That's a bunch of bull, and you know what. And I'll tell you what, how many people, how many employees did you say, Mike?
555.
555 for what? Less than 4,000 students? That's ridiculous. They couldn't run a damn flea market. That's the way I feel about them. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm like my brother here. I grew up in Renova. I'll tell you a little story if you got a little time here. Dad had a store up on Main Street, right on the front street. This is Clinton County now we're talking about. The county that all of you guys are going to serve. He had a store, thriving store. Hunting season came with people all over the place. The bridge at the railroad, an hour and a half, guys that come across there from work. I was a little kid. And Michelle, you'll understand, you don't know this, and I never told you. We were little kids, we were in around that time, you talk about pollution. I go home with soot on my shoes, my pants, my shirt. Damn locomotives were in that town, and the smoke was so thick. They bitched about the power plant. You couldn't see the sky. That's bull. You couldn't see the sky back then. It was daytime. I grew up in Renova. We had to leave when the railroad ended in 1959. Dad had to close the store. I lived on 5th Street, 8th grade. We had to move away to Philadelphia. Now you know what the heck that was like. I wanted to get hit by the school bus first day I went to school. But I've seen it. You know what? Yeah, we've had a little bit of industry, you know, but I've seen it. It went down the drain just like everything else, like Mike said. That town was done in 1959. When that railroad went out, the town was done. And I'm not gonna dwell on Michelle, why she wanted that or why she didn't. I'm disappointed in her that she didn't come to some of the meetings. She never came to a dang partnership meeting to get the real facts. We have to get the real facts about everything, you guys, and it's about time. I'm like I said, I'm in the twilight of my career, whatever career it was. I worked for the Army Corps of Engineers, worked for the gas company up in Reno. If we don't wake up and elect the right people, and you know it in big government too, it's the same thing. We're finished in this country. We're finished right here in this area. I sat here and I was impressed by everybody. When these 4 guys here and this lady spoke, 3 guys and the lady there, that's a wake-up call. You get those guys on the school board, that may be a change for us. I like what Mike did here tonight. I apologize for interrupting him.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But once again, like I said, I had to leave Renova. Broke my heart. I was a little kid that always came home, and I'm not lying to you. You talk about pollution. You don't know what pollution was, Michelle. You don't even have an idea. That's why I say this damn. If you'd have went and got the right answers and went to the right meetings, you'd have known what the real story was.
I never took an environmental angle of that. I took a community economic development angle on it.
You should have won.
We're still not in the market.
I know.
I realize you guys wanted that, but the market is not there. We're in a renewables market.
Okay, well, I'll tell you something. When you were against this, that was 2-3 years ago I first knew you were against it. You were against it before that. We were in the market then, weren't we?
I didn't like the location.
We were in the market, so I
didn't
won't
like
say
the
anything
location,
else.
no. And I didn't like the host benefit agreement that did not help Renovo. And I read it.
Michelle, I'm not gonna get in an argument with you, but you never came to any of the meetings where my brother, Mike Flanagan, and the other fellows running for commissioner, I won't mention his name, but those guys worked their heart out. They had all the information. If you'd have went there, you'd have got the right figures. I read what you put on the Watchdog, and I'll tell you.
I went to a meeting in Renovo, and you yelled and screamed at people rather than being respectful and listening to them. You were so angry at me, you were literally spitting in my face.
Well, I would never do that, and I don't condone that. I'm not spitting in your face, and I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to interact with people that don't want to interact with me.
Michelle?
I found the facts, I read the facts, and I presented them.
You
And I'll
have-
copy it when I get home tonight.
I'm not going to get you on.
That's all right. Wait, everything's fine. Let me offer this. I don't favor cutting anybody off, and I'm not gonna do that now. I don't see any gavel in my hand. I don't run a clock. If I'm elected and these good folks are elected, I hope we don't use clocks to try and tell folks what to say or what to think. We're not gonna do that. If it starts to become a little redundant, where we're saying the same things, if there's something new to contribute to the issue, let's do that. No, you did fine. No, there's nothing. Excuse me, we have another contributor to the issue here, perhaps.
Well, it's a different issue, if that's okay.
Of course it's okay.
Okay.
That's why we're here.
All right, I have 2 questions. The first one's for the school board, and I will tell you up front, I'm in Jersey Shore School District, so I can't vote for any of you. I admire each of you, and I wish you great success. But my question for you as prospective school board members, and I know that you're talking a lot about finances and trying to educate the kids, but I also believe that children today are being so confused by, see if I can put this, alternate lifestyle choices. How is each of you or any of you, how do you believe being elected, you might be able to impact decisions moving forward on that subject? And then I have one for you.
That's an excellent question. Do you want to define alternate?
Well, I know.
Do you want me to?
No, I know exactly what she's.
Oh, of course. Very good.
I know exactly what
You
she's
think we got that?
Oh,
I'll turn it over to these good folks.
Yeah, you don't have to be polite to me.
Well, we have 2 children here now.
Oh.
That's why I was.
Okay.
Someone want to address that? Or all of you? Tom?
I need a moment to think. Because we have
Okay,
children.
as these good folks think about that,
Dr. Baldino.
He's gonna purify it for young years.
Let Dr. Baldino go, please.
Okay.
Oh, you got the wrong number there.
More closer, Bill.
Yeah, okay, sure. Obviously, that's gonna be a difficult situation. My own personal viewpoint is we're dealing with a very small percentage of the population. They need to be protected so that their rights aren't violated. But I would be a very hard sell for destroying the rest of the population to keep them happy.
Aren't we doing that?
They may be. I'm not there yet. If they are, and I am there, I can promise you that they will know that I don't think that's the way to do things. Now, how do you get things changed? You get more people who think the way you think than the other way. I'm only one person. Each of us is only one person. We need strength. Okay, we need the numbers. That's, you asked a hypothetical question, and that's what it is. I can tell you this, that in my entire medical career, I never had a hospital administrator that liked me. Because I asked embarrassing questions and pointed out inconsistencies, and they, for some reason, they didn't like that, so.
Thank you, Doctor. Back to the schools, or continuing with the schools, we'll define that a bit, and I think then Chris will go after me here. What you may not know, most people think school boards consist of 9 school board directors. And that's true and it isn't true. It's true in that there are 9 school board members, or if you want to call them school board directors that get to vote. There are actually 10 school board members. The 10th one is the superintendent of schools. The superintendent of schools is hired by the 9 voting or elected board members, but there are 10. The superintendent of schools is also a member of that board. So if you look at the current structure of the 9 school board members, they've all been in the pockets of Boss Martin. I call her Boss Martin, that's what she is. And her compliant board, there's never a debate, never a discussion on any subject matters on that board. You would think on an $80 million or so budget, there'd be some discussion or potentials for cost savings or some debate. No, none of that. Sometimes that board moves the entire agenda. And their agendas are big and thick, full of many line items. They'll move it all in one fell swoop. Seconded, no discussion, no debate, boom, 9-0 passed. You need to elect these folks. So again, you elect 9. I think there are 4 opportunities here. Current board member, Mr. Koch from Sugar Valley. I'll just give you the facts. He's been a long term, in many years, top school board union boss in the state. Not just this district, the state. That's his conflict of interest. Well, he's one of the 9. Never hire enough people to suit him. So, if we elect Bill, we elect Tom, we elect Don, as you would want me to say, if we elect Chris, and I hope that we do. They're just good, honest folks. And if we elect the 4th, Mr. Foreman, who's over in Blue Ridge for that district, now you've got 4 honest citizens willing to do the right thing. Next school board election is 2 years from now. Perhaps, if we elect these 4, and another one to join them from the current board, if the mighty big word, I know, perhaps Mr. Knopf in the Bucktail area could be influenced to see it a little differently. Perhaps so. Who can say? Chris?
A lot of times there's courage in numbers.
I'm gonna make my answer to you short and sweet, because I've said it publicly and I'll say it here. A third, fourth, fifth grade young man going to school shouldn't be worried about learning which bathroom to use. The only thing he should learn is that girls got cooties. That's it.
Folks, just a quick question. How many of you were aware of the most recent violence issue at Keystone Central? Anybody at all? Okay, so we have a lot of hands going up. Pretty significant violence issue.
Ma'am, you wondered, you had your hand up?
Oh,
Or were you waving to me?
No, are you finished with that question?
Probably folks are hoping I am.
No, I just wanted to ask you who the fourth school board member that you mentioned, I missed the name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we talked about the candidates here, that by and large, they represent a change of 3 positions. But we have a chance to change a 4th one. The candidate for school board is not here tonight, is Mrs. Karen Portman. Now, I'm not acquainted with Karen, maybe some of you are, but she is running against an incumbent, one of the 9, one of the bureaucrats, a guy I mentioned earlier, a former school district.
What's her region?
Well, this region is Pine Creek, Precinct 2, Dunstable Township, and Wayne Township. So if we can dump Johnston out of there and let Mrs. Portman in there, that would give a new board 4 honest citizens to represent us in our public schools. Does that answer your question?
Yes, except that we're in Woodward Township and I didn't hear Woodward Township.
Okay, so Woodward Township, we can't do anything there with your current school board. So the other ones we didn't mention will be up then in 2 years. You're welcome, ma'am. What Keystone Central and any school district typically does, they'll bring up 4 in 2 years, and then 5 years later, or 2 years later, they bring up the other 5. Those are all 4-year terms. Perhaps I did not mention, or I should have, our county row officers are elected for 4-year terms.
So I had a follow-up question to the one that you asked. So there's an issue that's been going around the state, and this is for Michelle and also for our school board candidates. There's a problem where obscene books are being offered to minors throughout in public school libraries. And should our tax dollars be used for that kind of thing? And what's your position on that in the schools?
Absolutely not. Go ahead, you speak first, and then we'll pick up afterwards.
The answer is a strong no. Taxpayer dollars should only be going towards educational materials, and it's important for all of us to act very strongly on this issue. I wrote an article not too horribly long ago about American Girl dolls. They're expensive dolls for girls. They're adorable, but they also print books. And in one of their books, they taught how these children, age 5, 6, 7, 8, could get help transitioning and how they could hide that from their parents. If we want to be responsible parents, we have to make sure that these materials are not in the hands of our children. We are the parents, not the schools, not an agenda, not a political. We have to take control of this. Taxpayer dollars should never be part of it, ever.
Thank you, Michelle. Does anyone else wish to address that concern?
I can to make a simple statement on that.
Please do, Tom.
Those little children back there would be required to read those books in those schools. But yet, they're not allowed to go watch an R-rated movie. Now, what's the difference? I mean, it's just simple common sense. They can't do this, but they're required to do this. And this is more damaging to them than Steven Seagal. You know?
Yeah.
To answer your question, I believe that if a student knows a teacher or administrative politics, sexual identity, whatever you want to call that, you failed as a teacher, an administrator, you should be removed from your position. Flat out, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Start at the beginning and say that to me again.
That if a teacher, administrator, if your students know how your political stance are, what you believe, politically, party-wise, whatever, your sexual orientation, your sexual identity, since these are new words that we use nowadays. If they know that, and you force that upon them, you failed as an administrator, you failed as a teacher. You're there to teach that child how to read, how to write, maybe how to take an engine apart, play sports, make cookies. You're not there to teach them what happens in your bedroom, what you think they should do. That's their self or their parents' position, not yours. And
Wouldn't it
if
be
you
wonderful
do
if
that,
that's
you
the way
should
it
be
was?
removed.
All right, let's take a deeper look at that. That's great question.
I mean, that's
Better
I need to
understand.
think of how to say it with
No, that's good.
the minors behind you.
What you may not know, maybe you do.
Our kids go to school to learn math, social studies, history, and all that. This part of this discussion should not even be going on in school. That should be going on at home with your parents. After you're 18, you want to make a decision to change whatever you're doing, that's your job. But God started you out as this is what you are, that's what you need to be. If you want to change your mind later on, that's fine. But taxpayers should not be funding pornography in the schools.
How much power do we have? I mean, I'm in full agreement, complete.
I'm ready to define that for you right now.
Okay, please.
Or let's get to the heart of it. It's a good discussion on everyone's viewpoints. People think because the media reports this, that it must be so. People think that it's all in the hands of the unions, the school teachers' unions. We know they're all mostly vote for Democrat and Democrat issues, and that's how they get in schools. And that's why the school districts are rife with unions and bureaucracies that support that. Where does the power lie? With your school board at the local level. Now, they aren't just words, it's the law. It's the law here in the Commonwealth. To this degree, man. And what these potential school directors may not even yet know, and maybe current school board directors don't even yet know, or never will know, or don't care to know, who sets the curriculum? Who has the power to set the curriculum? Not the superintendent of schools. It's not the unions. It's not the administrators. It's not the state. It's your local school boards. Your elected school board members have the complete power and authority to approve or disapprove the curriculum of that district. Now, like Keystone Central does, not all school districts do this, but they hire a director of curriculum. The school boards turn all the study of this over to the unions and their curriculum directors and these nutty facilitators running around that aren't even in your classrooms to develop all this. It falls to the school boards. And the school boards, particularly Keystone Central, they don't want that power. They want the bureaucrats to decide it for them. That's why we have what we have here. You need in Keystone Central to put the power of the public schools into their hands and take it out of Boss Martin's hand, and Johnson's hands, and Koch's hand, and all these ones with these conflicts of interest.
Okay, Mike, I have one more question. I don't want to monopolize, but I know we might be running out of time.
Not
And
at all.
this one is for you. I can vote for you. You have a sign in my yard, and you're my neighbor, so I might vote for you.
I hope so.
I might. I'm still undecided. Tell me, as you're running for supervisor, what would you like to see done differently in the township?
By and large, I'll make a general statement first. By and large, our townships across Clinton County are not the biggest problem. Not even near the biggest problem. Most of our townships run pretty well. Pine Creek Township is run pretty well also. But there are some issues that are not run so well, perhaps. And I say perhaps because we don't have enough information as citizens to make decisions on it. So I determined here, in the last 6 months to come forward. There's nothing against the two fellows that have a team to run against me, that's fine, they can, you vote as you will. You don't vote for me, I'm okay with that, that's how I make it work. But to get to the heart of the matter, so there's a team there running, one was appointed and never elected. And again, I told you and promised I'm not gonna degrade fellow candidates, so I'm not gonna do that. These are nice guys, they do a good job on the roads. But there are other concerns that we don't know so much about. Those specifically are how all of our tax dollars are spent, particularly as it relates to the police department and the fire department. Now, having said that, I don't want folks to jump to conclusions like I'm accusing our police and fire folks of anything. I am not. But I will state this. This isn't an accusation, this is a fact. That we don't have all the information I think we need as citizens to make informed decisions on the matter. So let's get down, take this a step deeper. Along comes the Chinese virus. Here comes the state government and all these bureaucrats that say, oh, gee whiz, we're going to close our schools, we're going to close our churches, we're going to close down our governments, and we're working hard from home, you can trust us. We're working hard from home. Well, okay. So now here we are. The Chinese virus is behind it. We've thrown away our masks that never worked in the first place, but forget all that. We still have many of our governments that are closed. Where we say, well, gee whiz, those that we elect and we pay to service, they can't be found. They're working hard from home. Well, public does not have access to their Pine Creek Township municipal buildings. They're closed. There's a sign on the door. Likewise, Davisboro. Likewise, how many more of them? Public can't get into their own buildings. They can't get information from their own people. You don't have to take it from me. You can take it from these good folks that go to more meetings at townships than I do. They can't get the information they need. So you hear this from these bureaucrats, even at the township level. Oh, gee whiz. Well, why don't you submit the right to know? And that's become the status quo answer, submit a right to know. That's baloney. You don't need to submit a right to know. Most of these elected officials are acquainted with the sunshine laws. They know what's public information and not. When they say to you, oh, gee whiz, submit a right to know. They're delaying, it's delaying. Then you have to appeal it, and then you delay it again and appeal it again. Because I don't want you to have the information. And I say we have a right to the information. That's the question.
Mike.
Dan.
Let me just add one to what you missed. Please do. Biggest issue we have right now going is regulations. Taking what Mike said, townships control a lot of regulations. You want to build a house, you want different zoning, you want all these things. They control that. It's an important job to know what you need to have for your township. that sits beside me used to give me a little hell on some of this stuff. When she worked in the conservation district.
She never did, Danny.
Oh, she gave me hell. I appreciate yourself, but we were great friends.
I don't believe it.
NPDS permits in a rural area for over 1 acre, you have to have an engineer develop your plan, approve it, cost you thousands of dollars before you even think about building your house. That's unheard of. When she was there, I think it was 5 acres. She probably knows better than I do. But it should be around 3 in the rural areas. We can't get anything done. We need new development in this county. We need not housing that comes from the federal government or the state paid by that. It's easy. Oh, we had $1 million, so downtown Long Haven is a good example, right by Dunkin' Donuts. They're going to develop 7 apartments, $1,200,000. Partnership just took, we sent a letter, we were not in favor of that. We're in favor of people having a place to live, but we don't have any new development people. Haven Homes is gone. All those kind of people that used to build houses in our county are gone. So how do you get new people to move here? We have to have affordable housing, and the townships are a big part of that. So it's a very important job. I just want to explain. Think of the regulations one time, and they are very, very tough ones. The regulations. That NPDS permit's a bad one. Over 1 acre.
Thank you, Danny. Folks, it's 8 p.m. I'll get right. Go ahead.
I just want to make one remark.
Please do, Charlie.
I've been to some school board meetings, and I also used to be a member of the planning commission of Fort Township, and also Fort Township Auditor years ago. And one of the things that disturbs me about what's going on with the sunshine regulations, for example, Keystone Central School Board gives you 4 minutes to talk, okay? That's not enough time. You have to register ahead of time, even for the township meetings and stuff. I would like to see all of you allow the public an opportunity to address you and express their opinions, and for you to listen and to take part in some of what they have to say. Okay, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Closing question, real quick. Is this beneficial to the public? Should we do this again in the fall? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Good idea? Thank you very much. Commend you. Proud of you good folks. Stepping forward. It takes a lot of courage to do that. Appreciate it very much.
How you doing?
Good night. God bless.